Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are once more in the Adder's Nest in Gleipnir to continue our tank Rolequest. So, Keeper of Entwined Serpents. Hearts True. Gleipnir has not been seen since our last encounter. This brief respite may be our best chance to quell the Great One's terror. Make way for the saplings, Scoopo! We've had plenty of practice cultivating our gardens, so selecting the most robust ones was a simple matter. That was the hardest work, so you can help us with the easy part. If you see a spot of corruption, cleanse the taint and plant the sapling in its place, Scoopo! Do it enough times and the Great One is sure to understand that we're doing all we can to heal the forest, which ought to brighten its mood. We'll see to the East Shroud. You should have no trouble taking care of the rest, Scoopo. Your efforts are much appreciated. We will begin without further delay. I trust you will not object to my company. I dare say healing the forest is one of the tasks for which I am more qualified than most. Elder Seeds, are you well enough to leave the city? I should like to think I have been for some time. In any event, assume he has finally grown tired of my objections and ceased his attempts to detain me further. Allow me to be the one to consecrate these saplings. It would be an honor to offer words of thanks to the forest for its bounty. Please do, Kupo. A prayer from the Elder Seeds herself will surely hasten their growth from tiny saplings to towering trees. Such is my hope. As Yoan did before me, I shall approach the Great One in friendship, that it might see through the veil of fear that blinds it and remember our covenant. Let us begin by cleansing all traces of corruption in the Central Shroud. To Gleipnir, I sense that the flow of air has become warped there. Impressive, Kupo. Not even my keen eyes could spot corruption from such a distance. It is but one of many talents I owe to the elementals. Well then, shall we be on our way? I shall keep watch for errant beasts. This blight upon the forest must be cleansed. When you're finished, I shall consecrate the sapling and soil with prayer. Corrupted air. In gratitude for your boundless blessings do I offer this gift. May it nourish you as you nourish us. At last the earth is cleansed. There's a settlement not far from here. We should tell them of the sapling. Bid them watch over and keep it safe from harm. Of course, Elder Seeds, I shall relay your words forthwith. It will give the people hope to know they can aid in the restoration of the 12th sword. Thank you. And now we must go. The Silent Arbor. There, something foul impedes the flow of aether. Let us hurry. Bit further away than I thought. Look, the flowers here have withered and died. Shudder to think what a forest would look like if this were allowed to spread. Pray to for corruption that I may plant and bless the sapling. Painted water sprite. The injury has begun to heal, and our next destination lies to the north. Near Hustmal, I believe. 'Tis faint, for we are far from the source. Nevertheless, I'm certain it is there. Come. So close to the hamlet. Is nowhere safe? Where must the people seek shelter from this corruption? It is fortunate that the corruption here is faint. A simple player should suffice to cleanse the soil, after which we may plant the sapling. I sense no other disruptions in the etheric flow, which leads me to believe that the Mughals have already seen to the remainder. Indeed, the 12 would sighs with a contentment I have not felt in a long while. But will it serve to placate the Great One? I cannot say. Not until we visit the Guardian Tree. Excuse me, but you're the Elder Seeds here, aren't you? What brings you all the way to our village? Corruption that has upset the balance of Aether, but that we have since cleansed with prayer and sapling. Thus has the 12 reclaimed the measure of peace. You've been planting trees? We have. The elementals have suffered much of late. In these offerings we endeavor to raise their spirits. Elder Caesar, I got to protest. What of your people's spirits? We who dread every step we must take out of doors. That terrible monster is still out there, preying upon innocent folk without rhyme or reason. And if it doesn't strike us dead where we stand, its poison will finish the job. I know that you are afraid, that you and yours suffer still. However, 'tis under the auspices of the elementals that you may call the 12 home, and they too cry out for deliverance. Even the Great One quakes with fear for the blasphemy's continued existence. To ignore their plight is to invite greater tragedy for us all. Rest assured, however, that I have not forgotten the needs of the people. We bring comfort to the elementals and renew our sacred ties, that we might enlist the aid of the Great One in combating Gleipnir and the suffocating despair it spreads. And so I pray you continue to put your faith in our guardians and in me. Whether they could, Elder Caesar, but we've been dealing with death and sickness since before Gleipnir's coming. They say the creeping death's nothing to fear these days, but we know better. One of ours caught it not long ago. We gave her the cure and had plenty on hand. For a while we thought it would be alright, but by the time we realized it hadn't done a damn thing, it was too late to call for a conjurer. It was a sad day for all of us when she passed, but for none more than her poor husband, Supin. He was beside himself with grief, and who could blame him? And then came Gleipnir to compound our woes. Supin? It cannot be. Do you mean Ersua Supin? Ersua? No, Supin was an odd one, but no one mistake him for a Pagel. Supin wasn't even his real name. It would be Elenia, but his wife was fond of calling him Supin for some reason, and it caught on with the rest of us. I see, and what did Elenia look like? Well, I'd say he'd seen no more than 30 summers, kept to himself, came and went with nary a word at times, but after he met his beloved, he became more of a fixture, friendly even. His wife was a sickly lass, but she had spirit, but spirit's not enough to beat the creeping death. Pity we couldn't do anything for her. He had finally made a new life for himself here. Thank you for recounting Elenia's story. Sad though it was, it has helped me to better understand how much you all have suffered. I promise that you will have cause to celebrate soon. Until then, I implore you again to place your faith in the elementals and in me. Together we shall overcome this crisis. Despite what he said, I'm certain that Elenia was Ersua Supin. To think that he was living so close by for all those years, searching for a new purpose, and finding true love. Only to be robbed of that fulfillment too. Were he still a Pagel empowered by the elementals, could he have saved her? He would have dwelt on the question, night after sleepless night. I know I would have. Mayhap in the end, he came to blame the elementals for his helplessness, for her death, and in despair was consumed. Aye, the animosity would linger, endure, and in vengeance would Gleipnir find its final purpose. We have done all we can to show the Great One the purity of our intent. Let us hope we will be accepted as friends. And to Evershade. Suffering was Erasua's constant companion. Nay, it still is. For his sake and ours, we must deliver him peace. Our supplications cannot have escaped the Great One's notice. May it be enough to receive an audience. O Great One, may I abide ever beneath your boughs, embraced by your compassion, grace, and wisdom. Be still the fear within your heart, and know that I am your faithful servant. All feeling. Passing corruption, refreshed, renewed green, flesh restored. Child of child, covenant honored, friend, friendship, peace. It worked. The Great One speaks through the Elder Seats here. You're right to follow Joran's example. A corruption is but one aspect of a greater threat. Profanity's spawn, despair's orphan, sadness and anger, sadness, death's prayer, one and all. Poison potent, wounds unmending, withered bark, no strength to share. After all we've done, you deny us? After all we elder Seats has endured, she has pledged herself to you, devoted her life to the 12th wood. The people cried out for salvation, and she answered. The elementals cried out for deliverance, and she answered. Only you can help us now. If you do not, then we are lost. She's lost. Please, I beg you. We beg you. What are you doing here? We've been depending on the seats here all our lives, blaming Ben whenever something goes wrong, without ever considering what we might do ourselves. Aye, but no longer. The elder Seatsia has gone to incredible lengths for her people, and so her people have come to return the favor. If her plea alone is not convincing enough, then we will raise our voices in support. We couldn't let them make the journey without protection. That, and we couldn't let them put us to shame. We too have come to stand with the elder Seatsia and beseech the Great One for aid. We all want the same thing, don't we? Peace restored to the forest, so please, share what you can, however little. Do not forsake us. Do not forsake her. Kani, Covenant's child, walks with man, with elemental, keeper of ancient faith, unbroken. Cannot, will not break faith. To man, render up flesh. Then you agree to help us? Flesh, branches, take and join to oldest elders, renew bond as one stir. Raise up to heavens, covenant symbol, our staff, all join, all bloom, all peace. My duty weighed heavy on my heart, so heavy that at times I scarce remembered to breathe. For days and nights I worried that I would be found wanting. But by your faith and trust has the path forward been revealed to us. You came hither, united in purpose, and bared your hearts before the Great One. Gridania is forever in your debt. Yay, Twix! It sounds silly when you see that, but it makes sense. May I rely on you once more? I bid you take these branches to every corner of the 12th wood and join them to the eldest trees, that you might finally win free of this despair. It shall be done, Elder Seedseer. We swear it. Once the trees have been bound together in spirit, I shall carry out the Great One's final instruction and cast its cleansing power all across the 12th wood. Yet I must remind you, my friends, that Gleipnir still stalks the forest. It will not remain idle. It will attempt to stop us. Go with hope in your hearts, but do not lose sight of the danger. I admit for a moment I thought it wouldn't work, but the Elder Seedseer moved not only the hearts of the people, but that of the forest itself. Her final task appears to be a bit more complicated than the Great One made it sound, and so she must scour the ancient text before the time comes, and consult with the Seedseer Council to make sure all goes according to plan. It's just as well. We still need to wait until the others have joined the Great One's branches to the many ancient trees scattered throughout the 12th wood. And then, of course, there's the matter of Gleipnir. He will not go peacefully as we work to hasten his demise. When he comes, we must be ready. The Keeper of the Entwined Serpent is pleased to see you. Impeccable timing as always, Desiree. But moments ago, the Elder Seedseer sent word to go and fetch you. Fetch me? She's already on her way and will explain everything herself when she arrives. The children of the 12th wood, both Moogle and men alike, have sallied forth, branches in hand, to the far reaches of the forest. Soon the task shall be completed. Though the shadow of death yet looms large, they do not allow despair into their hearts. They hold fast to their faith in a brighter future. We shall see their hope rewarded, but the greats of the elementals consign these grim days to memory. We only need to succeed in summoning the ermine hatch. You may recall that the Great One's words were muddled and esoteric. I believe it was an instruction to carry out this esoteric ceremony in order to expunge the corruption befouling the forest, that the once tainted earth may begin to mend. For you see, when the ermine hatch last was formed, it was to protect the 12th wood from threats without. The Great One acted as a guardian, embracing the woods to shield them as a father would his child. On this occasion, however, we will call upon it to nourish and revitalize, as a mother nurses her child to make them strong against sickness. In channeling the power of the elementals in this way, we can stem the spread of Gleipnir's poison, and the scars of its passing will finally heal. At least, that was what the Great One intended to say, I believe. The Seedseer Council agrees with my interpretation and has permitted me to perform the ceremony. I have in my possession a single branch, the final one to be attached to the eldest tree in the 12th wood. For all that you have done to aid us thus far, I ask that you accept this honor. Who better to set the final stone of this new foundation for everlasting peace? You have sacrificed so much for the sake of others. If we had even a sliver of your courage, we could move mountains. Alright, I will do it. Thank you, my friend. We will find the tree of which I spoke in front of the Leatherworkers Guild. Let us depart. From here, the Great One's blessing will spread to every corner of Gleipnir, and send all manner of wicked beasts scurrying back into the shadows. And that's a tree, yeah? It's a big tree. Look to the boughs above, and you will see a spot where the bark has been discolored by age and the elements. There you must affix a branch. And so I must climb here. You ascend the ancient trunk and affix a branch of a guardian tree to the withered bark as directed by the elder seeds here. You are quite the climber, and with that all preparations are now complete. Let us return to the guardian tree, and with the aid of a great one, deliver salvation to the whole of the Twelvewood. Our journey nears its end. I shall be glad to go to bed again without Gleipnir to haunt my dreams. If it's truly Ersua's lingering resentment of the elementals that drives the blasphemy, then it will surely come. For the sake of the man he was, I must try to appeal to his reason. But should I fail, then we will have no recourse but to fight. Regardless, this day we shall bid farewell to Gleipnir. Through the branches of the guardian tree, the Twelvewood is become as one. In summoning the ermine hedge, every ilm of the sacred lands will be imbued with a great one's nourishing aether. The forest will be empowered to heal itself, to break free of Gleipnir's despair. The ceremony is complex and delicate, and I must maintain focus. I trust you will do what is necessary to see that I'm not interrupted. Gleipnir comes. Defend the elder seats here. Blasphemy, Gleipnir. Are the elementals so deserving of your scorn? Do you hate me too for my haunts? I knew a boy once. A boy who called them gifts. Symbols of a blessing he resolved to share with the world. Yet the beast before me now brings naught but misery and death. Marks its victims with chains to bind and condemn. To share in its suffering. I was not there for you then. But I'm here for you now. To unmake what you have become. I shall begin the ceremony. Stand fast and remember what we fight for. Let's do this. A familiar dance. The elder seeds here must not be disturbed. Protect her. He makes all the elder seeds here to her side. The pain's too much to bear. I cannot move. erupt. Must fend off its attacks of the Elder Seeds here to survive. Poison shower. Come on, Connie. Up with you. The ceremony is almost complete. Keep Gleipnir at bay. Misbehaves Gleipnir's poison. Do not allow him to drift near the Elder Seeds here. Ah! I probably could have collected them all. Damn it. I thought I had to stand there. I can scarcely raise my spear. Has the poison taken effect already? Failed? Cannot fail. Beasts. I'll fall before my spear! Listen. Fatal poison. We shall not fall before this beast. My effects exhausted. I cannot stand. I shall draw his ire. Desirate, lend the Elder Seeds a portion of your power. Come, you pitiful beast. Let us see the contents of your innards. My prayers have been heard. May your embrace shield us and cleanse the corruption from our home.
By the grace of the elementals! By the light of the crystals!
Okay, so long as we are in the barrier, which is the entire arena, we do not need to fear the poison, which is good.
I shall ease your hurts.
Oh. Several attacks, huh? Up by them. Sorry. Even Gleipnir lashes out in the face of death. Bring an end to its misery while the barrier still stands. Asura, I now fathom the depth of your suffering. For all that you held dear, I shall see to it that you are given peace.
What's will be done?
His rancor makes even the elementals shudder in fear. The barrier may not last for much longer. Press the attack. Through sacred sorrow and azure skies, may your compassion flow and swell to banish the darkness.
Receding terror, blissful quiet. Blessing, covenant preserved, now and always, child of child, honor and gratitude unending.
For we as well, honor and gratitude unending. We could not have overcome the blasphemy without your aid. In your everlasting grace, I pray you continue to guide the children of the forest. In your boundless mercy, I pray you forgive the lost and forsaken who succumbed to despair. To you, my dear Asura, I promise I shall never forget your words of wisdom. Ours is indeed a gift and a blessing, and a duty to our people I will uphold. Until my final breath, this I swear. No, the movements Senna made was the same as the sending from Final Fantasy X by Yuna. And the same motions were also used by Y'shtola in previous expansions when she cast her ultimate white magic spells. The elder Seedseer's childhood friend suffered too much tragedy in his life. Of that there can be no doubt. But with his passing, he and the realm may once more know peace. And we may finally begin to mourn the innocence lost to his rage. Thank you, Desiree. The great cleansing could not have succeeded without you. The blight has been purged, and the blasphemous beast which bore it laid low. The sacred wood that once held its breath in fear now breathes a long sigh of relief. I must return to Gleipnir and my regular duties as Elder Seedseer, but I should be glad if you could call upon me there. That is, if I may impose upon you one final time. Thank you. I promise not to detain you at length. Let us meet again at the Lotus Stand. And I just realized we're actually going to the Lotus Stand, where we have never before gone outside of MSQ. In fact, we couldn't even go there outside of MSQ. The Great One's aether flows all throughout the Trailswood, purging the last vestiges of Gleipnir's poison. The surviving wounded are no longer in danger and have begun to recover at long last. We have much cause to rejoice, in no small part because of you, my friend. On behalf of Gleipnir and myself, allow me to thank you yet again for your tireless efforts to bring Gleipnir to heal. You went above and beyond the call of duty for the sake of our people and their homeland. You were inspiring to behold, and not for the first time, I must say. Forgive me, Elder Seedseer, but with this crisis behind us, I would suggest a new course of action. Oh? And what would that be? Rest. In all our time together, I've never seen you so hard-pressed. Surely you're weary and could benefit from a brief respite? I appreciate your concern, my friend, but I cannot. Will not. One day perhaps, but not this day. But Elder Seedseer, recent events have given me cause to reflect upon my past. Upon lessons I once thought I had taken to heart. When I did not yet understand the duty with which I had been entrusted. When these horns of mine were but chains binding me to a destiny I did not choose. It was Easura who taught me to appreciate the gift I had been given. Had he not been there to help me keep to the proper path, where would my errant feet have taken me instead? He was perhaps the first, but he would not be the last. My brother and sister and countless other kind souls, through their words and their support, have also helped me to continue to find the way forward, even when I thought there was none. 'Tis by opening our hearts to one another that we, in turn, open new paths, that we can conceive of greater opportunities and brighter futures. All who live within Gleipnir are deserving of these gifts. And so I must always be there for them, that together we may journey to safety through darkest night. Not tempted to live wild and free like an adventurer? It is not without its appeal. I recall fondly the few occasions I have traveled beyond. Our time together in the churning mists left a lasting impression. If ever there came a time when I need no longer serve as Elder Seedseer, I should like very much to accompany you on another adventure. Looking forward to it. Regardless of what the future has in store, my present course is clear. So long as we Pudgel serve as a bridge between man and elemental, Gleipnir can weather any storm. And so I will continue to walk hand in hand with my people and my patrons along a path that we discovered together. The serpent salute. He gave. Though the blasphemy is no more, there's still administrative matters to resolve. If it is not too much to ask, could you bring word of these recent events to our delegate in Town? I can do that. It has been an honor and a pleasure, my friend. May the elementals watch over and keep you. Welcome back. I pray you brought glad tidings? Gleipnir is slain! You've brought joy to me on an otherwise uneventful day. Of course, I had complete faith in your success, but had begun to worry ever so slightly when you did not return as quickly as anticipated. I shall report your success to the envoys at once. If you have further need, I pray you will answer our call. Level 9 materia. You cannot die job-specific gear of level 90 tanks. More than death. Okay, but that was the tank Rolequest for Endwalker. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Ace and don't get lost.